What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video like this and I feel like I need to update you guys on so much that has happened from literally I can't even say a year ago. I would have to say it's been 2 years of just utter chaos, from wedding planning to the wedding happening to having a new place, living with my husband. There's a lot that has been going on. But I asked you guys on social media, specifically on Instagram, to ask me any questions, and I'm going to answer them today for you guys. So let's go through that first. First question first, how's your married life going? It is absolutely so beautiful, so present. It is so joyful to be living with your best friend. And I don't know, I'm loving it. I think what I was really scared about in the beginning was, okay, I'm going to be living with my partner. Yes, I have been dating my partner for a while, but now I'm going to live with him. And it's you know that new things are going to come up. You know, you're going to find out a lot of new things about yourselves. And we truly did. And there was an adjustment. There was a lot of learning involved. But I feel like we're officially settled, that everything is just so calm and peaceful and beautiful. And this journey has been absolutely tremendous. So I hope that answers your question. Do you live with your in-laws, or have you and Hark got your own place? Hark and I do have our own place. It is about a few minutes away from his parents, and it's literally walking steps from my parents. Yeah, guys, I had to be right next to them. When I say right next to them, it's pretty much next to them. But it's absolutely beautiful because I can get home in a second, just walk over and I'm there, which is absolutely beautiful. I love being so close to them. I really feel like my attachment, you guys have seen online on social media, I think you can see it completely. It has always been super strong. Our bond has been super strong, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that. And because of that, I know that I have the privilege to be able to be right next to them. And I'm very grateful and lucky that this is exactly what happened. So yeah, we have our own place. How did you know Hark was the one? To be very honest, I didn't know he was the one in the beginning. Okay. I've shared this story before. It's a long journey, long process, but I'll try to cut it short. Okay, where do I even start? I met him at my girl Manpreet Tour's dance workshop. She had hired Dreams Production to shoot her workshop, and that's where I had met Hark, full name Harkirat, and it was just a quick meeting, and that was it. And then later on, it was like Invisible String Theory. I ended up bumping into him so much. He was doing all these events that I was at, and he shot a dance video of mine, and we just kind of connected, and I had him as my videographer and photographer. And years pass, and all of a sudden he told me, well, not all of a sudden, there's a whole process and journey on that, but he mentioned to me one day on a walk that he has fallen for me, and what can we do about it? Is there anything we can do about it? And I said no. So yes, I had rejected him, and it was a tough few months, but something woke inside me. It was like watching the movie Pardes in my head. I know I'm so Bollywood, and it was like Arjun was right there. He was right there in front of me the whole time. Everything I wanted in a guy was right there, and I could not see it. And eventually I'm so glad that I saw it, because he became the love of my life, and it's just so crazy where we are now. But to be very honest, to answer that full question of how did you know he was the one, when I realized I started developing feelings for him, and I look back at the type of person he is, how he treats other women, how he treats himself, how he feels so safe for me. I don't have to hide myself from him in any way. I feel like that's when I knew that this was my person. And it also helps that he's just a beautiful human being. Something you tell your younger self. One thing I would tell my younger self is ask for help. You have loving, amazing people around you. Anything you're feeling, any emotions you're going through, you have a chosen family. Reach out to them and ask them for help and guidance. I think if that's something I could go back and do, I would definitely do that. How do you feel about being adopted? I'm adopted as well. Well, that's amazing, and I hope your chosen family is absolutely beautiful. I don't feel any different way from being adopted. I am grateful that I got this beautiful family, but I never felt any different. I feel like I have a story to share, but I feel like a normal person. My mom and dad are my mom and dad. I am utterly grateful to them, but I feel like even if I was biologically their child, I would still utterly be grateful to them, because they're such amazing parents. Like they created sense of security and safety and love and have always made sure that I felt heard. So I would just say I'm lucky on that. But at the same time, there was never any feeling of like, oh, I'm adopted. I have like a complete identity crisis. I did have that only when I was bullied for it. But other than that, no, I'm their child. So I guess it just feels like any other child is supposed to feel. How do you spend quality time with your parents? Just the three of you. Our version of quality time sometimes is just being on the couch and hanging out with each other and talking and discussing anything and everything. The one thing that my husband had to like get used to was the fact that like there are no secrets. We just kind of just say it as it is, or something happens, we call each other and that's that. And he was like, you guys call each other so much. You're always talking to each other. He goes, that's beautiful. And I was like, yeah, that's a relationship. But we spend time like that, or we end up going out for dinner. My dad is a foodie. I'm a foodie. My mom's a foodie. We love Mexican. So we love going to Mexican places. But we usually do our dinners, or we're just at home hanging out with each other, with my nephew, with my cousin, and my hubby, which is my sister-in-law. We're all just always at home. I don't know. My family home, that house is a home. It's a complete home. I don't even know how to explain it. Again, it's the people that are in it that make it a home, but yeah, we just love hanging out there. And like dad's always out. He gets tired. He meets so many people. He's doing a bunch of crazy things. I meet so many people. And I feel like that moment of just being at home is our rest time with our family. And we just love talking to each other. Oh, why did you stop YouTube videos? Well, a lot has been going on and I lost my consistency. I also lost my spark with YouTube. When the pandemic came, and Instagram, TikTok started popping off. Well, TikTok started popping off a little bit more. I felt like there were so many social media platforms and I felt like I couldn't keep up in the moment. And personally, I was going through my own stuff. A lot of people were going through things during the pandemic. I was going through fear of my family in India, constantly posting about oxygen tanks. I was going through like my own mental health stuff. So there was a lot going on. And I feel like I just kind of like fell off of it for a while, and that absolutely broke my heart because I've been wanting to come back, and every time I'm like, I'm going to, I get so busy. Since then, I've been like traveling a lot. I also, pandemic finished, and then working around with mental health, and then trying to focus on TikTok, trying to focus on Instagram. Then the process of getting married, and then to be getting married, I just let go of all of that and kind of just started focusing, like I said, on other platforms on social media. I do want to come back on YouTube properly, and I hope this is just the beginning of my comeback. But it's been tough. If you look at any of the YouTubers and you look at their numbers on their platforms, you'll see that people's attention span has gotten very little since I feel like TikTok has been created. And people just like to scroll on TikTok, YouTube, you're on the app, you log in, you have to click the videos, but the shorts you can just kind of like roll through. And I feel like people just need something easier. So I stopped focusing on YouTube, and I should have stayed on YouTube because YouTube really gave me everything and an amazing platform and gave me access to share my story. And I should have remembered that YouTube is still so large within India, which is majority of where a lot of people follow me are from. And I should have focused on that. And that was my mistake. So apologies to anyone who still watches my videos. I will do my best. What's one of your favorite qualities of Hark? I would say how much he cares. He cares a lot. Like he cares a lot. He feels deeply. He cares about every little thing. And when it comes to the people he loves, he will go above and beyond. My bestie wrote, how did it feel seeing yourself on the big screen the very first time? Truth is, it was magical. I want to share something, and it's something that I wrote. This industry is all about luck, auditions, timing, and sometimes people won't book anything for years, and then all of a sudden they book something and it takes off for them. You look at the role of like Christina Yang from Grey's Anatomy, Sandra Oh, like after a few years is when she booked Grey's. Or you look at like a lot of other people and their stories, and even the Duffer Brothers, if you think about Stranger Things, which is so popular and amazing, they were shot down many times with their story. And it took I think it was 13 years in the making. We could have had a whole complete cast 13 years ago. So I'm grateful that it all worked out now because this was the cast that was meant to be on screen. Sometimes it's just timing. And I wrote something a long time ago, and I used to question sometimes, because it happens in this industry where you end up looking at yourself, looking back at yourself and going, maybe I'm not good enough. But then I reminded myself and I wrote this down. Hollywood isn't slow because I'm not good enough. Hollywood is slow because Hollywood is still catching up. You're trying to build a career in an industry that is only now beginning to write layered, complex, and non-stereotypical roles for South Asian women. The delay has nothing to do with your talent and everything to do with the system evolving too slowly. You are not behind, the industry is behind. When I wrote that down, I realized, yeah, it's not me. And that kind of gave me more hope. And it's so lovely to see all these stories being written for South Asian people. We have so much work to do, but I don't know. I just love this industry. And to answer the question of seeing myself on the big screen, it was during Dr. Cabby, and it was a dream come true because this is all I've ever wanted. And this is what I want to do. This is my passion. I've studied it. I've studied it constantly. I've been honing my craft. That's all I can do. All I can do is just put my head down and work. And I've attended so many classes, went to school for acting, went to school for theater. There's been a lot. So it's been a lot. But what was really good is right before the wedding, taking that like year and a half gap off from acting and focusing on planning the wedding, I feel like I grew as a person. So when I came back into acting class, I was shocked. I was shocked at what I was able to bring. I was able to bring more experience, more depth. And I realized the characters I connect to are characters with such an emotional arc. That was a long answer. What is your love language? My love language is acts of service, which I find very, very amazing. Like cooking. My husband loves to cook. Thank God he loves to cook. I mean, I'm learning how to cook for him. Guys, I've been doing it. He's been teaching me. I watch him and I've been getting better and better. I even made like this pasta dish a while ago, even though I know it's pasta and pasta is easy, but there was a lot involved in it. I'm learning, it's something that I kind of want to do for him because he's such a great cook. He loves cooking. He likes to come home and the way he likes to de-stress is literally start cooking. I don't know why. He just loves it. But yeah, my love language is acts of service. Like little things like, oh, hey, like I'm going to steam your clothes because you're going out today, blah, blah, blah. Like all those little things, just like, I know there's such tiny things, but those are like that's my love language. I love seeing that. Again, my husband is very caring. So that comes off beautifully. How are you so positive? I feel like so many people get this question and it's so like a lot of people I believe answer it completely truly, but then there's some people that are just like, just try to be thankful for things. It's tough. It's tough being positive. And I know looking at me, people would be like, but you come from so much privilege. How, like, you should be positive. You should be this. Those are the people that don't understand mental health. Those are the people who think that maybe finances are everything. And truthfully, it is not. What's everything is health. If I could give up everything and have my mom's health 100%, I would rather do that. But people don't want to understand that. They don't look at that. They just look at what someone else has. And instead of clapping for them, a lot of people show their jealousy. How do you deal with hate online? I have a tendency of snapping back, and it's something I need to work on. But I kind of enjoy it a little bit. And I know that's a problem because I shouldn't be snapping back like that. But the way I deal with hate is if something really affected me, I actually go to my dad and I tell him and I talk to him. And it's his words and things that he says to me that makes me feel better. And I always like to remind myself that these are people behind screens. You would never go to someone's face and say this stuff, because you'd be so scared that they're recording you. You'd be so scared that, oh, the person will find out who I am and I'll lose my job, blah, blah, blah. It's so much easier being a keyboard warrior. So I always like to remind myself, these people create stories behind a computer and probably are literally crying themselves to sleep because they're unhappy. When you have negative things to say, it's because you have a negative mindset and you have deeper rooted issues. And one of the best things you can do is therapy. I think therapy is good for everybody. So it doesn't matter what state you are emotionally, therapy is amazing. But definitely to those people who just want to spread negativity, it sucks because it says more about them than it would say about the person that they're commenting this stuff to. Next question. Would you ever want to adopt? Yes, of course. 1,000% yes. Me and my dad actually spoke in Brampton in front of a committee recently where we talked about adoption because November is Adoption Awareness Month, which is so freaking amazing. And pretty much over there, we talked about how amazing it is that parents fight so hard. Like adopted kids, some adopted kids might not even know this, like how tough it is to adopt. These parents fought for you. They waited for you. They did a lot of things that in order to get you, they chose you. They fought for you. And then when it comes to the parents, my dad was also saying it's so important as a parent, if you're adopting a child, to be open to every question that they're going to ask. It is so important to follow and support them on their journey. And one thing that I remember my dad said to me, and it always stayed with me, he was like, I asked him, what would you have done if I had searched for my birth mother? He said, I would have hugged her. I would have thanked her for giving me such a beautiful blessing. And I would have done whatever I could for her because she did so much for me. And my dad did thank her in his speech at the reception. But yes, adoption has always been on the table. My parents gave me such a beautiful life, and it's my time to pass that on. Not that we're going to be adopting yet. Hark and I do not want to adopt or anything yet. We're still getting settled in our married life. So we'll do it when we feel that we are ready. I would love to adopt like 12 kids, to be very honest. But we know that's not possible. But I would like at least 3. I remember you mentioning that you had PCOS. How do you manage your weight? Guys, I have struggled so much on this. So much. Trying to figure out what's good for my body, what's not good for my body. And I finally have come to a conclusion. 1,200 calories intake. I work out almost every day. I do like 10,000 steps. I had gained so much weight from like January to July. I had gained so much weight that people online were commenting and saying things like, oh, like, are you pregnant? And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just a woman who has freaking hormones, because people like to relate everything to pregnancy, but okay. Yeah, I just figured out what kind of works for me. High protein, 1,200 calories, working out, walking really, really, truly helps. But I have moments where I feel so bloated and moments where, you know, I have taken care of my body. I drink a lot of spearmint tea. I have ginger tea. I've been very careful about my sugar intake, but still, it's a process. I always have to remind myself my process is going to be slower than an average person. So people with PCOS, be kind and gentle to yourself. It takes time, and do whatever you need to that makes you happy, but just make sure you're not harming yourself. Were there people you did not invite to your engagement and your wedding? Guys, there were a lot of people because I didn't have a relationship with them. So it made no sense to invite someone who doesn't know Hark and I together. And I didn't want to do a situation. I mean, I've been to a wedding where I remember there were like 1,500 people at this reception, and the couple was just stuck constantly taking photos with other people. And I'm like, I don't want that to be me. I want to enjoy every moment. And I didn't do this whole like photo op situation. I was like, no, just catch me and just take a picture with me. And when it's people you know, like Harkirat and I knew everybody at the engagement, at the wedding. Yes, people did catch feelings that they weren't invited, but my relationship with you was not that close. So for me, I was very particular. Yes, I was very strict. Again, it was our wedding, and I wanted to make sure that we knew everybody. And one of the other things was I really wanted everyone to feel so comfortable with each other, and everyone got along so beautifully. And they had met each other so many times. Like, I do this thing where I like to mix a bunch of my friends, and I mix them all together so everyone kind of knows each other from beforehand. And I told all my bridesmaids, wear your wedding outfits, like anything from any of your events. Some of them wore their reception outfits. One of them wore their wedding lehengas. Like, do whatever you want. Dress up however you want. Like, I wanted everyone to go out loud and as extra as they wanted, because I wanted them to feel like this is their experience too, not just mine. And also, when are you going to actually reuse your wedding outfits, right? Like, I keep thinking, I'm like, okay, I've had a couple of events I've been able to use some of my wedding outfits, but then there's some that I can't use because they're so extra. Now I'm just like, I hope there's a wedding in the nearby future where someone says, no, go as extra. God knows, like, God knows. But I wanted all my friends to go out all extra. I don't care what they were wearing, how excessive it was. And I put my mom in a bridal outfit, which a lot of people loved. And then you had some people going, she shouldn't have worn a bridal outfit. No, she should have worn whatever she wanted to, even though my mom didn't want to wear it. I kind of made her wear that. But I just wanted everyone to feel comfortable and to let loose and not worry. And if they're not an extra person, be as simple as you want. Be who you are and be yourself confidently and loudly. And if it's quietly, then be yourself quietly. Be whoever you want to be. And that's what I wanted. Do you ever feel like you are living two identities, public and private, guys? Yeah, because when I posted about my relationship, people are like, wait, what? You're dating someone? What was going on? I'm really good at maintaining a private life and a public life. So as much as you guys know me, there's so much that you don't know of me. And it's everything that I share online is very also meticulous because I don't like sharing like the painful sides. I don't want to talk about anything that might hurt somebody else. And I just don't, or put them in their feels. So I try to radiate as much love and positivity online because I am like this in reality too. But also privately, I can deal with so many different emotions and things. I don't need to share everything. Not everything has to be online. As public as I seem to be, not everything is online. What's something you healed that nobody knows about? I healed my heart. And what I mean by that is, again, I acknowledge the privilege, love, and everything that is a part of my life. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. But the one thing I truly healed is there was a time in my life where, and it's happened a couple of times, where I've said, why do I love so hard? As in, why do I give anybody my all? I always keep my heart so open. And obviously there's situations in life where you're going through so many years and it could be like a middle school best friend that you don't talk to anymore, or like a high school best friend or university best friend or whatever, even if they're not best friends or just friends or whatever the process is. It's like, I am so grateful to myself for leaving my heart open, for seeing things that people don't think someone like me would have seen, to keeping my heart open and never not believing that I deserve so much love in return. I don't know if that kind of explains it. I left my heart open. I never closed it. What is your dream role? Honestly, I wish I could be casted in something like Stranger Things. I'm more of like fantasy, sci-fi type of person. My acting dream began with Grey's Anatomy. I saw it when I was like 15 years old, and it was like the first season, first episode it came out, or 16, I don't remember. And I've been in love with it since. I would love to be on that show because I'm so attached to it, because it opened my love and heart up to acting. But if it came down to a role, I love the character. I know this is a guy, but I love the character on Stranger Things. I love Steve Harrington because I love his character arc. I love Robin because I just love the way that she talks. She's always rambling, and I feel like that's me. But there's so much depth in Steve's character, and I don't know, I'm very, very attached to it. But I would love to do a role on a series that is sci-fi fantasy. I think creating a whole world and imagining it and then finally seeing the outcome of it on screen is just, it's so magical. How do you handle tough days with your husband? Tough days with my husband. Good food, watching good TV, and having conversations that are tough. That's how we handle it. We will have those tough conversations, then we'll eat some good food, and then we'll watch a show or movie that we truly enjoy. Lastly, already answered so many questions. Which celebrity would you love to spend a day with? You know what? I would like to spend it with the Duffer Brothers. Again, huge Stranger Things fan here, but I just want to know what went on in their mind when creating the whole story. Like, I want to know, they had season 1 written for a very long time, but then did they build up on it after, or did they have the story from the beginning? And I just want to talk to them and like understand what their perspective was, because their minds are they're geniuses. And if it was a female celebrity, guys, I wouldn't be able to decide. Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock or Anne Hathaway? Yeah, my brain. No, I won't be able to decide. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I'm done answering all the questions. Need to edit this video and put this out there. But I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did ramble a lot. I miss my long form content. I miss just talking and talking and talking because freaking Instagram or TikTok, like I said, attention span is so little. I miss those long form YouTube videos. So hopefully I can come back onto all of that and just start releasing videos for you guys. Be patient with me. I'm going to try my best. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.